I wasn't included in my own sister's wedding, despite funding it. She claimed I didn't match the aesthetic, but her expression turned grim when the venue abruptly canceled at the 11th hour. I still recall the precise moment I learned I was excluded. It wasn't through a sincere discussion, a misplaced email, or even a casual remark. Instead, I found out I wasn't invited to my sister's wedding the way you stumble across a gathering you were never supposed to know about, via a social media post. A photo showed a stunning invitation, adorned with silver calligraphy, resting on soft velvet. The caption gushed, "The countdown's on! Thrilled to share my big day with my dearest ones." Her dearest ones, except me. At first, I assumed it was an oversight. Perhaps my invite was delayed in the post, or she planned to tell me face-to-face. After all, I'd spent the past 6 months ensuring her dream wedding came to life. I covered the venue's down payment when she and her fiancé were strapped for cash. I paid the catering deposit when our parents wavered. I even contributed to her gown, a dress she hadn't even revealed to me. I scrolled through the post's comments, my gut churning. Friends, cousins, co-workers, everyone raved about how eager they were to attend. Someone quipped about how selective the guest list must be. Selective. That's when unease began to settle in. I texted her, keeping it light. "Hey, saw your post. Didn't get my invite. Did it get lost?" I stared at my screen, waiting for a reply. Nothing. An hour dragged by, then 2. By dusk, I'd convinced myself I was overthinking it. Maybe she was swamped, or her phone died. Then at 10:47 p.m., my phone pinged. Her message read, "Hey, I meant to discuss this. We had to trim the guest list. It's a very specific affair. No offense, but you don't quite suit the atmosphere. I know you'll cheer me on from a distance. Love you." Specific affair. Didn't suit the atmosphere. Cheer from a distance. I reread it 4 times before it hit me. I wasn't overlooked. I was deliberately excluded. And I knew why. I wasn't like her crowd with their manicured hands, tailored outfits, and forced chuckles at upscale gatherings. I didn't have a glossy job title or chat about stocks over mimosas. I ran an auto repair business, a thriving one specializing in high-end cars, pulling in solid profits. But to my family, that didn't count. To them, I wasn't an entrepreneur. I was just a grimy technician, always reeking of motor oil, my hands calloused from years of labor. My sister had always judged me for it. She believed true success meant a corner office, a pressed suit, and a prestigious career, not owning a garage, no matter its revenue. She never said it outright, but I caught it in her glances at family gatherings. The faint grimace when I arrived in work gear, the curt way she'd introduce me to her friends. "Oh, my brother? He fixes cars." Like I was a minor inconvenience. And now, after all I'd done for her, she'd edited me out of her flawless wedding. I'd bankrolled her day, yet I wasn't worthy of a seat. I should have seen it coming. It wasn't the first time my family treated me like an outsider. The hints were there for years. Subtle digs at dinners, offhand remarks about my job, the way my parents glowed when my sister landed a promotion at her ad agency, but barely nodded when I doubled my shop's size. Still, I never refused them when they needed me. When my sister dreamed of a grand wedding but couldn't pay for it, I stepped up. I covered the venue's deposit, the catering up front, even part of her dress. I asked for nothing in return. "Weddings cost a fortune," she'd complained one evening at our parents' house, twirling her wine glass theatrically. "If you want elegance, you've got to shell out," I'd teased. "Says the one with the trust fund?" She rolled her eyes. "You wouldn't get it. You don't have loans to pay off. You don't need to maintain a classy image. You wear those boots every day." That was my sister, equating prestige with optics. She didn't care that I'd built my company from nothing, that I worked grueling weeks to keep my staff employed, that I'd earned every cent. To her, I was just the guy with stained hands and blue-collar issues. But I helped anyway. When she and her fiancé fell short, I sent the funds without a second thought. I told myself it was for family, not accolades. Yet here I was, unworthy of an invite. After reading her text that night, I lay awake, dissecting every interaction from the past few months, searching for the moment she deemed me unfit. Was it when I showed up to a family event fresh from the shop, still in my coveralls? Or when she introduced me to her elite friends with a vague, "My brother, he deals with cars," like I was a stranger changing oil? Or had she always viewed me this way? The next day, I drove to my parents' house unannounced. I wanted to hear their unfiltered thoughts. As I entered, my mom's voice floated from the kitchen. "You know how he is," she said, her tone dripping with familiar disapproval. "I just don't have him embarrassing me," my sister added. "It's a refined event. I can't have him looking like he just slid out from under a chassis." I tightened my jaw. "He's family," my dad murmured, but his voice lacked conviction. "Exactly," my sister shot back. "He should get why he can't come. He doesn't fit that scene." I'd heard enough. I pushed open the kitchen door. My sister blanched when she spotted me. My mom suddenly focused on stirring a pot that didn't need it. "So that's your take on me?" I asked, keeping my tone even. My sister paused, then squared her shoulders. "Don't take it personally, it's just not your crowd." "My crowd?" I echoed, repeated, crossing my arms. "You know what I mean," she huffed. "Everyone's from the business world. Attorneys, CEOs, people who mingle professionally. You don't share their interests." "Because I don't push papers in a cubicle, I'm too thick to chat?" I countered. "I didn't say that," she replied hastily, but her face betrayed her. My mom sighed. "Honey, it's a different kind of occasion. You can seem a bit rugged sometimes. You're always in those work gear. Your guests don't carry yourself like they do." "I own a company," I said, my voice firm. "I earn more than most of those refined folks you're inviting, but because I don't wear dress shoes daily, I'm not enough." My sister groaned. "It's not about cash, it's about presentation. You've done a lot for the wedding, and I'm grateful, but this is my moment. I need it to be seamless." I nodded slowly. "Got it." "Don't be so sensitive," my mom chimed in. "We'll have a cozy family supper after the honeymoon. That's more your speed." I gave a cold smile. "You're right," I said, grabbing my keys. "That's my speed. In my world, you don't spit on someone who's helped you." I left before they could reply. Driving back to my sister, texted, "Hey, don't blow this up, okay? I still love you. BTW, can you cover the cake payment? It's due Friday. XOXO." I laughed so hard I nearly swerved. She thought I'd still pay. She assumed I'd eat my pride like always. She didn't know I was done. By the time I reached my shop, I'd decided for years I'd been their safety net, the one they leaned on when times got rough, the one who never refused, no matter the cost. I told myself it was my role, what families do. But this crossed a line. My sister didn't just take my funds, she took them while sneering at me. She accepted every payment, every wire, every dollar without hesitation. But when it came time to include me in front of her posh pals, I was invisible. Yet she still expected me to cover her cake like nothing happened. I'd been used, no longer. I replied, "Sorry, I'd hate to taint your wedding by being linked to it. You'll manage without me. Best of luck." Within minutes, she called. I ignored it. She tried again. Then my mom, then my dad. By closing time, I had 15 missed calls. The next morning, I woke to desperate texts. "Sister, what do you mean you're not paying? The cake's already booked." "Sister, don't be cruel. This is a mix-up. Let's talk." "Dad, we raised you better than this." I shook my head. Not one apology. Just demands, as if I'd keep playing along. I called my sister. She answered instantly. "Oh my gosh, finally! I don't know what's wrong with you, but you're acting wild. You agreed to pay—" "I changed my mind," I interrupted. Silence. "What?" "I'm not paying another cent," I repeated. "Figure it out." "Are you for real?" she screeched. "You're gonna stab me in the back like this?" I chuckled. "Stab you? Like how you cut me out of your wedding because I don't fit your aesthetic? Or how you and Mom trashed me like I'm a nobody? That kind of stab?" She huffed. "It's not the same. That was about optics. I didn't mean it harshly, but this is actual cash. Real obligations." "Not my issue," I said coolly. "You didn't want me there? Fine. But you can't take my cash while acting like I'm invisible. You made your choice." "Don't be so theatrical," she snapped. "You're just bitter about the invite. Get over it." I exhaled. "You think this is about the invite? It's about you using me like a bank while looking down on me. That's what burns me," she scoffed. "Oh, please, you're loaded. You wouldn't even feel it." And there it was. Pure greed, not gratitude, just entitlement. "You're right," I said, my voice icy. "I'm loaded, and none of it's yours." "Wait," she stammered, but I hung up. I didn't hear from her for days. But my parents, they kept pushing. "She's so overwhelmed," my mom whined. "Can't you do this one thing? It's already arranged." My dad chimed in. "What's a few grand to you?" "Family's family," I finally snapped. "Family? Where was that when I was grinding to start my business? Or when I worked 16-hour days? Or when I funded half her wedding and got treated like trash?" Silence. "You sort it out," I said. "I'm out." I hung up and blocked them, let them scramble. I expected silence. Calls. Pleas. Maybe even veiled threats. "You'll regret this," or "You're selfish." But for 2 days, nothing. Then I realized they weren't ignoring me. They were panicking, trying to replace the money I'd pulled. On the third day, my mom showed up at my shop unannounced. She walked in, eyes flicking over the cars being serviced, my crew working smoothly. I wiped my hands on a cloth and crossed my arms. "Trouble?" "We need to speak," she said, her voice tense. I gestured to my office. "Be my guest." She sat across from my desk, hands clasped, looking out of place. I took my time sitting, letting her stew. "Your sister's in a bind," she said. I raised an eyebrow. "Oh?" "Enlighten me." She sighed, frustrated. "The bakery won't deliver the cake without the balance. The venue's at risk of canceling unless she clears the fees, and the florist's still waiting." I stayed silent. "The wedding's in 2 weeks," she pressed. "She can't cover it alone." "That's rough," I said. Her eyes widened, like she expected me to cave. "You have the funds," she said, as if I were slow. "You could fix this without blinking." I gave a faint smile. "And yet, here we are." Her jaw tightened. "Stop being spiteful. You committed, and she built everything around that. You can't back out now." "Like she built me out of her guest list?" I replied. "Funny how that goes." "This isn't a game," she snapped. "You know?" "Sure," I said. "She chose a wedding without me. I chose not to fund it." My mom groaned. "If you don't step in, she'll have to downgrade. She'll be mortified. People will gossip." I chuckled. "Now we're at the real issue." Her face stiffened. "It's not just about looks," she insisted. "She deserves a stunning day." "She deserves what she can pay for," I corrected. "And clearly that's not this wedding." Her lips thinned. "So that's it? You'll let your sister crash?" "She's not crashing," I said flatly. "She's getting a lesson." My mom stared, then stood, smoothing her jacket. "You'll regret this," she said. I shrugged. Maybe. She left. I felt lighter. Over the next few days, my sister's perfect plans crumbled. She posted a cryptic status. "It stings when those you trust let you down. Life, huh?" I scrolled past. Then my cousin called. "Man, what's up? Your sister's losing it. Says you ditched the wedding payments." "True," I said. "Why?" "She didn't invite me," I replied. Silence. Then, "Ouch. Yeah, I'd do the same." The next day, my sister texted, "Can we meet?" I waited, then replied, "For what?" "I don't want this rift," she wrote. "Coffee?" I smirked. She didn't want a rift. She wanted a bailout. But I was curious. At the cafe, she sat, fidgeting with her mug. "Hey," she said, forcing a smile. "Hey," I replied, sitting. "Look, I know you're hurt," she began. "Not hurt," I cut in. "Just awake." She frowned. "What's that mean?" "It means I see you," I said. "I'm handy when you need cash, but when I don't fit your pretty world, I'm out. You can't have both." "That's not true," she protested. "You didn't invite me because I'm not polished enough," I said. "But my money was polished enough." She sighed. "I wanted it perfect. I didn't think you'd care." "Now you know," I said. She paused. "If I invite you now, will you chip in?" I grinned, stood. "Enjoy your wedding," I said, leaving. "Without me." The morning of her wedding, I woke up unburdened. No rush, no guilt, no duties. For the first time, I wasn't their fixer. No one called to beg for last-minute cash. Because I wasn't invited. And because I'd stopped caring. But they hadn't stopped wanting my money. At 11:19 a.m., my mom called. Ignored. At 11:50 a.m., my dad. Same. At 12:07 p.m., my cousin texted, "Dude, you won't believe it. The venue shut them out." I laughed. The chaos, I'd warned them. They'd had time to fix it. Instead, my sister banked on someone, anyone, bailing her out. No one did. Without the final payments, the venue canceled. Staff locked the gates as guests arrived, dressed in gowns and suits, baffled. The planner scrambled to explain. My sister was a wreck. The lavish cake, undelivered. The fancy flowers, gone. Her dream wedding, vanished. At 1:22 p.m., she called. I answered. "What?" I said, tone flat. "Satisfied?" she screamed. With what? I asked, amused. You know, she hissed. The wedding's ruined. Oh, I said. Short on cash? You knew we were, she shrieked. You were supposed to help. You swore. No, I said. You assumed. Silence. You let me fail, she whispered, voice cracking. No, I corrected. You failed yourself. Then she broke. Why couldn't you help? After everything, after all you've done, I cut in. Like using me, taking my cash without blinking, treating me like dirt when I'm not useful? I didn't mean it, she mumbled. You never do, I said coldly. That's the issue. Silence. Then, so this is it? You're done? I was done, I said. You just didn't see it. I hung up. The wedding moved to a cousin's yard last minute. No grand decor, no gourmet food, just a thrown-together setup. My sister spent the night fighting tears, too ashamed to enjoy it. I didn't reach out, didn't apologize, didn't check in. I let them handle it, and I felt free. A year later, my parents finally realized I wouldn't budge. At first, they tried guilt, then anger, then quiet. Now they tread lightly. Like they know if they push, I'll cut them off for good. My sister never said sorry, but she also never asked for cash again. I call that progress. As for me, I'm still running my shop, still doing great. Only now, every buck I make is mine.